I have purchased what I consider to be my dream truck. As of right now, this has been like something I've been looking for a couple months, like being specific as to what I was looking for. For the past few years, I've wanted a diesel machine that I can go around picking up my deals with, like a trailer, you know, quads, golf carts, everything. I've been looking for something, whether it's a Grand Cherokee. There's a few diesel options that aren't crazy expensive. Here in Ohio, it's kind of hard to find something that doesn't have quite a bit of rust on it. You know, everything's kind of eaten out here in the salt states, and I don't know, they can be pretty brutal to machines. So I've been looking for something diesel for a while, but not looking hard. And then recently I've really gotten into a lot of the TDI, Volkswagen engine stuff, specifically the ALH engines that are just known for being pretty much very resilient, very tough, able to handle a lot of miles. So I've been really looking into that and trying to find something, but as most of you guys know, doing the swap is like, man, it takes hours and hours, lots of work. You have to pull everything. You have to get a donor truck first. You have to get an engine. You have to get the swap kit or make your own plate. There's a lot of work involved in doing a TDI swap on any machine. And I didn't want to do all that, but I did want a TDI swapped small format truck, or I don't know, I would have accepted like a Jeep or a Tacoma, anything that can tow, you know, a couple thousand pounds, like 2,000 pounds, and I'm good. That's what I was looking for more recently in the last couple months, and looking pretty hard. And you know, I'm up in Ohio, not a lot of stuff up here, not a lot of people do it in general and have something for sale. A lot of people who do it keep it, or keep it in the family or whatever. And so specifically been looking for that for a few months now. And I don't know, I gave up kind of in a sense locally, because you don't find stuff very often. It's like once every few weeks something shows up, and pretty much everything that, even if it's rusty, if it has a TDI swap in it, runs, it's like $8,000 and up. Most of them selling for like $10,000 if they're pretty clean. But the TDI swap in and of itself runs anywhere from like $2,000 to $5,000, just the swap cost itself, not the donor truck, you know, all that involved. And I have a pretty tight budget. I've been looking, I wanted to stay under $5,000. I really wanted to keep it lower if possible. Like 5,000 is like, I need to be able to drive and do all these miles picking up deals with it. And that would just be ideal for me, which it seemed unrealistic. I had pretty much given up hope. And then I started searching nationally within all the US, or at least like the whole east side of the US. And I started finding more deals, but still pretty expensive. And just, I don't know, they're really far. And if they're not like really good deals, I'm not going to drive that far out to go get it. So, but yeah, within, I don't know, a few days of starting to do that, though, I did come upon this machine, which I obviously bought. This is a a Dodge Ram 50. And I'd seen a couple of these. I really was looking for like a Ford Ranger, or a Dodge 50, a Tacoma, some of the Mazda B series. Pretty much all of them had the option to come out with diesel back in the 80s. It's pretty rare, not very common. I did see like, I saw like a B series with the turbo. I saw Ford Ranger with the turbo in the 80s, and they came with, not turbo, with diesel. They came diesel, but if anybody knows the 80s diesels machines, pretty much all of them made like, at least most of them in these small format trucks, made like 50 to 60 horsepower, which it's horrific. The transmissions are like 4 speeds, sometimes 5 speeds, but they're pretty pathetic when it comes to highway stuff. Like, you can't do highway running max RPM, max fuel power for an hour straight. It's hard on the machines. They're not designed to do that. It's pretty inefficient. So yeah, like their gas mileage is like 20, you're getting like low 20s miles to the gallon. And it's just working the engine really hard. It's not that they're not reliable. They're great little workhorse machines. Like if I'm just going into town, you know, doing stuff like that, it'd be fine, which I am going to be doing. But if that's all I was doing, I would have got a Ford Ranger diesel, and you know, I would have been happy. But I'm doing like an hour to 2 hours highway stuff, and I really needed something that could do 70, 80 miles an hour. And I was like dead set. I want a manual. I don't want an automatic. A lot of the reliability stuff, especially on Ford Rangers, I was reading quite a bit, like don't get the automatic, but I don't know. I saw a lot of stuff saying the manuals are pretty bad too, but it's whatever. I've seen what the inside of the transmissions look on the 5 speeds on the Ford Rangers, and they're pretty basic in my opinion. For, you know, when you do like a full teardown on a quad, you tear apart the entire engine and the transmission, and it's kind of cool on a car or like a truck. You can take out just the transmission and work on that individually without tearing apart the whole engine, which I think is kind of cool. Simplifies things. But yeah, anyways, I'm getting off track here. So I found this. I wanted more like 100 horsepower, at least 100 horsepower, small format truck. And this came up. It was in Arkansas. Now for me, it's like 830 hours away. I caught it within, I want to say, a day, maybe 3 days of posting, I think is what it was at. And I hit him up. I started asking a lot of questions, because when you're buying a machine that's far away. When you're buying a machine that's several states away, like there's a lot of red flags you got to kind of make sure that aren't there. You know, you got to make sure they actually have the title. It's actually like in their name or signed and ready to go. You got to make sure the VINs match. You got to do quite a bit. That when you're on Marketplace, a lot of these guys, they don't want to deal with people like that. They just want somebody that's going to show up and buy it and get it out of their hair. You know, unless it's stolen, and then they're just sketchy. But yeah, I specifically wanted to make sure I wasn't wasting my time. I mean, I got a family back at home that I need to be taken care of. I don't want to leave for a long time just to waste a lot of money in gas and a lot of my time. I didn't want that happening. So I asked quite a bit of questions without trying to be too overbearing, and ended up, he had this thing listed for $4,500, and we're going to talk about what it is, and I'll let you know how much I got it for. But let's go ahead, let's talk about what it is, and go through some of the details. So this is what I got. Let me swap the camera. All right, this is basically where I pulled in last night and parked it. I drove literally almost 19 hours straight yesterday, picking this thing up and getting it back. I stayed the night in Missouri, I think. I left at 8 a.m., picked this thing up in Arkansas, and then drove all the way back to Central Ohio in one day. It wasn't very fun, but it was worth it. So picked up this Dodge Ram 50. It's a 1989, pretty cool little truck. If you like small format trucks, I think it's pretty cool. The cool thing is because it's a southern truck, Arkansas. I mean, it's not too south, but this thing underneath is not crazy rusty. It's actually pretty nice. You know, for an Ohio truck, if this wasn't an Ohio truck and it was driven at all during the winter, this thing would be way rustier. I'm pretty excited about the suspension and everything looking pretty clean. And here is what made it. Well, this is why I drove all the way to Arkansas. It has an ALH 1.9 TDI, just like I wanted. Now, this is specifically the engine I wanted, and it's got a lot of interesting quirks to it. We'll kind of go over a little bit of it, but this is why I wanted this. It's already installed. It's got the, let's see, I think it's TD Conversions adapter plate. And what's even weirder is this is a Dodge with a Volkswagen engine, but funny enough, it has the TD conversion swap for a Ford Ranger 5-speed. So it's got a 2002 Ford Ranger manual transmission. So this Dodge was actually an automatic when it was made, and so it wasn't designed for it. They had to cut out this much here and then a little bit back here to even get this shifter in there. And because of this being a Ford Ranger shifter, its positioning is quite awkward.
So they ended up custom welding or bending. I'm not sure. I haven't even seen how this is made. It looks mostly just bent, but they've got this jerry rigged on there right there and kind of welded that on there. But this is a Ford Ranger 5-speed transmission, already mounted, and it has a proper cross member. You can't really see it, but it's all mounted in there correctly. I mean, it seems pretty decently done. The exhaust actually pours out right here, just past the cab. You can see it sticking out there, and it's getting kind of rusty, but yeah, so I really wanted a manual. That was one of my stipulations. I really had to get myself a manual, and I wanted all the conversion stuff done, but I still wanted a project. For me to get something affordable, under $5,000, it had to be a project, right? So he had this listed for $4,500, and it's supposed to be running, but still a project. You know, that's kind of how he listed it. He said he got it in a trade from his buddy, who's a Volkswagen mechanic. You know, that's, you know, quote unquote. And this is how it came. I mean, I pulled it up. It's here. It's pretty much rust free, pretty clean. It has some aftermarket headlights. I'm quite certain those are not the stock ones. It is missing this little bumper here, which I think when they put in this where is it? It's hard to see, but the I can't think of what that's called. When they put that in there, they took the bumper off and didn't put it back on. I'm not sure, but this is how I got it. Has a little bit of surface rust on these little pieces. I wonder if I can find these or if I'll just have to paint them, but I'm not too worried about the way it looks. It's clean enough for me. I'm pretty happy. It needed tires and wheels. He told me that right off the bat. He had to throw his trailer tire on there because the original one was completely shredded. So pretty much no rust on it, other than surface rust. This is pretty much the worst rust spot on the entire truck. And got a little dent there, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a cute truck. I really like it. I think it's gonna do just exactly what I want. Yeah, that's the rust spot right there. So I'll probably patch that up and throw some paint on it and move on with my life. So I think this is a 6-foot bed. Looks like a 6-foot bed. Short cab. Smallest version they made. They did make a long cab version. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Let's talk a few more details. So I was trying to work him down. 4,500 is really close to my max, and I don't have a lot of money. And he said this is still a project, and he took it on trade. So I figured he'd probably go a little lower. He hadn't put the work in himself, so I was trying to work him down. I think I got him down to $3,500 before leaving, and you know, we discussed kind of what all it needed, and he said he was talking to somebody at the exact same time, and by the time I was like, hey, I want to come get it for $3,500, he said, hey, I got somebody coming tomorrow. So like he said, you know, I'm holding it for that guy, so he's gonna look at it first. So unfortunately, I thought I wasn't gonna get this truck for $3,500. I was kind of bummed. So I kind of gave up hope on it. I was like, you know what? Somebody's driving 2 hours to go look at this truck. They're probably gonna get it, assuming it is what he says it is, right? And so he hits me up the next day and says it actually didn't sell, and I was questioning why didn't it sell. You know, I had somebody drove 2 hours, why didn't they get this machine? You know, that's kind of a red flag for me. So I asked him about that. He said, let me swap the camera real quick. Now he said that it was like a 17-year-old kid shows up and he's like, hey, we took it for a drive, and the kid, it doesn't have a license plate or anything, so they were driving around, and the kid was trying to get it into 5th gear on a dirt road that's not very long, and he said he wasn't going very fast. He was going like 40 miles an hour. Said 5th was kind of grinding and not going in well, and I was like, oh great. So I looked into that. It seems like it's pretty common that the synchros or the shift forks have issues
on the Ford Ranger 5 speeds, or the linkage is just offset, which would be best case scenario, which scared the kid. He was 17 years old. He's like, I don't know much about these things, and it ended up, you know, which is fine. I was like, cool, can I get it cheaper? You know, that's I don't mind a little bit of transmission work. I can hop in there. I can do that. I looked it up. It didn't seem too bad. So I was like, hey, can we get it down to 3,000? And I think it took like a day. He was at like 32, and I'm like, hey, if I'm dead serious, I'll come get this tomorrow if we can do 3,000. He's like, okay, let's do it. So I secured the deal. I crossed all my T's. I checked with the title or the BMV, and I was like, hey, I showed him the pictures of the title he sent me, and I was like, hey, is this good? I'm driving all the way out there. It's a 13-hour drive. I don't want to waste my time. And they said it was good. So I drove out. I got there, and kind of a funny story. So we're at 3K, right? And if you know anything about TDI swaps, like the conversion plate, the engine, like if you need a donor engine, conversion plate, I'm trying to think, the custom mounts they have, mounts in there they bought. I'm trying to think, there's a bunch of stuff on here you have to do that, like, he pre-bought all of it, and it's like well over $2,000 just worth of like conversion stuff plus engine, not including a donor truck. Like it's not cheap, in my opinion. So he had done all this already, and I'm getting down to, I'm at 3K, but I get there, and what happened was, he said, hey, he just found out in the morning, but apparently when the kid was driving it back, it ran out of gas as it was pulling into the drive, like literally ran out as they parked it, basically. And he said, well, ever since that happened this morning, like when I try to start it, it doesn't run long. Like it'll take a little bit of gas and then it kind of bogs out. And I was like, okay. Like, did it run completely out of gas? And he's like, yeah. So he starts it up, it runs for like 20 seconds, and then he's hitting the gas and it's dying. It's clearly a fuel problem. If you know anything about the fuel lines on diesels, like once they get air in them, you got to get it out. It's a very common thing. But I don't think he works on diesels. He said he does mostly V8 swaps and like older machines is what like his thing is. And he seemed kind of bummed, and because I told him specifically, I was like, I'm driving all the way out there. All I really care is that the engine runs, right? I just want to hear it run, drive it a little bit, and I'm out. Like I'll be good. And he knew that was like my mindset. So when I got there, he tells me this stuff about the engine. We hear it run for 20 seconds, and he says, I'm just gonna sell it to you cheaper, like $500 off. You know, just, you know. And I was like, okay. I was fine with that. Like, if from what I understand, there's just gas in the lines. Like it should be the easiest fix to get it running again. Which I did hear it run for like 20 seconds. And at that point, we're at $2,500 for a TDA swapped truck. It's really not that bad. It still needs finished, but like we're at $2,500. So obviously I jumped on it. I bought this thing, and it's here today. And so I think it was well worth it. I think I had 450 in gas. I think with the 2,500, it was a haul, but I got it back, 400 something bucks. I'm less than $3,000 into this machine. So we'll talk a little bit more about the details in the engine, and because I have a few questions. I'm not a TDI guy. I'm not a diesel guy. I've never owned a diesel before. This is my first. I'm excited, but I'm new. I've been watching stuff and studying. But let's go back into the engine bay, talk about what it has, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
Look at that. Ram 50.
Okay, intercooler. That's the word I was looking for earlier. All right. Yeah, let's talk the engine. So I kind of need to pull up the information, but from what he told me, he said his buddy's a Volkswagen mechanic. So take that for whatever, you know, to whatever extent you want. Trust that. I don't know. It's marketplace, right? So you never know with people, but all right, so he said this thing has a forged crank, FCP H-rod connectors, or connecting rods, and ARP head studs, which the ARP head studs are a very common upgrade to save from too much boost. That's what he claims is inside this. He said it's a rebuilt engine.
To what extent, I have no idea. I don't know if he did new pistons and rings. Your guess is as good as mine, but that's what he claims is in here. He said there's 350 injectors, which from what I'm reading is like way too big. It's got a mechanical injection pump here, which I know nothing about. I don't even know where or what this goes to. If anybody knows, let me know. That's a 4. But I need to figure out what this is from, and ideally I need to learn as much as I can about this and what actual injectors on here. People that know TDI, I'd like you to chime in if you can and let me know, should I pull these injectors out and look at them and see what's in there? Yeah, it's got a mechanical timing pump. He said it's 350 injectors, which would be like massive from what I understand. And then this is what's really confusing to me is, so it's got a 3-inch exhaust, which is cool, right? It's a big gnarly exhaust, and it's clearly got a leak here. In the video I saw the smoking. I wasn't too worried. It just I think the weld here was just poorly done, and so it's just blowing out soot at the V-band here. But it's got he said this is a T28 adapter. So, and this is really weird because it's got this Chinese Max Speedings rods turbo. From what I can tell, this is a T28 Turbo from them, a Chinese one, which is like way too big for what the application of this is. Like, it just seems massive. From what I'm reading, like this won't even start spooling with this tiny engine until like 3,000 RPMs, which is basically like a drag car. Like you pre-spool it to 3,500 and then you drop it and it just takes off. Like that seems like what this turbo is made for. It's not for a daily driver, and what I wanted was like not a daily but like a pretty often driver to do miles on. So I think that's my first hiccup thing I gotta change. I think I'm gonna get the what is it, VTM 17 and just throw that on there. But I'm gonna have to look up how I don't know much about turbos, but I need to make sure I'm gonna be able to convert it here. I think I'm gonna have to buy a different way of hooking up the 17 to this. So I'm pretty sure this is just way too big and I need to buy something more appropriate. And he took $500 off. I'm all the way down to $2,500 on this machine. So I don't care if I have to buy an OEM nice VTM 17, and I think I can take that route. My question kind of is like, should I throw that on there and then change the injectors? I think these are too big. But I don't know if I can just leave them. Like I basically want this thing to be fuel efficient and not have any risk. I don't care about power as long as I'm making 100 horsepower. I don't care. I'm not a speed demon. I'm just picking up deals. I want to be able to tow, so like 120, 130 would be a little nicer, but I'm really not too worried. So yeah, that's the turbo that's on there. It's got this giant Spectra, whatever, big old air intake, and it's pretty dirty because I think all the soot that's flying out of here is just getting it gross inside of here. But it's got a intercooler hookup, which looks okay, looks decently done. It does, everything's hooked up, runs through the intercooler and back out and comes into the turbo here. I'm pretty sure this is all ran correctly. I can't tell. It does have coolant in here, and I haven't ran it yet, so this is literally as it's sat when I got it, and what I'm working with. But coolant lines are kind of ran in a little bit of a goofy way. I'm not sure. I feel like I might reroute this because I don't like this look here. It looks almost like a big old support bar. But yeah, the coolant lines. I don't see any leaks yet, but we haven't ran it much, and it was on gravel. Yeah, I think there's going to be some type of oil leak. There's something down there. So, but yeah, I think shortly after, I'm going to make a video just seeing if the, I might just do it now. I might try and get the air out of these lines and start it up real quick just to show. It was a running machine when I bought it. But yeah, this is it. I don't know a ton about these machines, but I've been learning as much as I can. It looks like it does have power steering, which I was so happy about. That's pretty cool. It's got the A lot of them have the power steering delete, from what I understand. And this one looks to be all hooked up. And I'm pretty sure in the video he sent me it was working when he was turning on it. So, yeah, that's it. This is my Forge. Dang it. I keep calling it Forge because my stepfather said it's a Ford Dodge, a Volkswagen Ford Dodge, so he says a Volkswagen Forge because the transmission's a Ford and the truck's a Dodge. But yeah, that's my my Dodge Ram 50, cute little truck. And you know, I think I'm gonna jump in there and we'll try and get her started real quick, just for the sake of this video, and then we'll call it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm realizing that this guy only put like 2 gallons of diesel in here, and ideally you want the diesel tank to be completely full, so it's, you know, fuel level is as high up on the you know, pushing down on all the lines. So I really need to fill this up, and then I realized that this was a gasoline vehicle, so I can't just hook up the diesel pump to it and fill it up. So I'm trying to think. I think I have to go with a I think I gotta take my diesel 5-gallon jug and then fill it up and then pour it in. I think the nozzle will fit. Is the nozzle big on the diesel jugs too? Shoot! What to do? What to do? If I can find my diesel jug. Anyways, I'll find that and then we'll see if that works. Okay, so just as I expected, all of these unleaded, if you didn't know this, the unleaded holes here cannot receive a diesel sized pump. So if you try and fit it in there, it's just barely too big at the end here to go in there. So what I was gonna do was use my filler here, but I have the annoying type that has the clicker right here that does that, and it won't flow unless it does that. So I need to see if I have any of the cheap ones that just flow without the little clicker, because otherwise I can't even get diesel on this dang thing. It's kind of stupid. So I'm headed back home real quick and we'll see if we can figure something out. All right, well, I couldn't find a nozzle that would work with that, so I came up with a different solution. You know, it's the little things like these that, and I'll tell you when you do a TDI swap, that you got to think about. This whole thing not working. So if I shove this in there just right, this will work just fine. Let me show you. And boom, easy fill up. From everything I can read, this should have somewhere from like 15 to 18 gallons of diesel. He put 2 in there, so I'm gonna put 13 gallons in and hope that she doesn't overflow. So let's go for it. Diesel! My first time using a diesel pump. Oh, the power. It's my first time ever filling up my truck. If the pump will work. Or not. Oh, you gotta flip the stupid nozzle. Gosh! I feel like an idiot. You can tell I'm really popping my cherry on this one. I gotta kind of baby it because it can't fill up very fast. Oh well, 13 gallons later, and well, I found our first official leak. There's a hose, this rubber hose up there that has a crack in it, and as I'm filling it up, it's just dripping. And I got to like 11.5 gallons, and now it's really dripping, so I think it must be up in the hose at this point to be dripping like that. So I think we can call her full. Let's take her back home, bleed the lines, and hopefully she will fire right up. Let's go. You know what's funny is I've had this truck a whole whopping like 24 hours and I've already had 2 people chat with me about the truck and like, you know, what's up with it. Just filling up gas at the gas station. It's kind of cool. The first guy was like confused why I was putting diesel in the truck. And I was like, yeah, it's, you know, it's got a little diesel engine. I'm not stupid, but, you know, not the sharpest tool in the shed, but
So we talked about it a little bit, and then because it took about a minute per gallon to fill up because of the stupid funnel, another guy showed up and was like, "You got a Ford BT in that thing?" And apparently that's the diesel Cummins 4-cylinder. I was like, "No, but it is a diesel." And he loved it. He thought it was really cool. Checked it out under the hood and everything. And I guess people out here like stuff like that. He's like, "Man, you don't see stuff like that out here very often." I was like, "No, not really." So, but he told me don't drive in the winter because all the salt out here. So, pretty cool to just, you know, I've had a sports car before where people, you know, want to chat with you about your car, but this is just a tiny little truck, and I don't know, people already like it. So, I think it's cool. That's all that really matters. So, anyways, I'm gonna get her home, and let's see if we can believe these lines. So apparently, when I was at the gas station, I still had my 17mm wrench on me, and I set it down somewhere stupid. I can't be the only one who does this. It's like every time I have just the tool I need, and then I get distracted by like one thing, I set it in like the stupidest place possible. I don't know if I set it in the truck or the other truck or on the trailer. I have no idea. It's just gone. And I'm at the point where I'm like, well, I think I'm just gonna, I don't know, find another one or buy another one, because, man, I get so annoyed looking for tools when I literally just had it like minutes ago. Meanwhile, this leak, it's tripping pretty good, but it's definitely the hose. I'm just glad it's not the tank, which, I mean, it's not rusty, so it shouldn't be, but I gotta find a 17mm somewhere, so wish me luck. Okay, I found a 17. From what I understand, all I gotta do is turn the fuel pump on. Oops, I bumped the camera. Turn the fuel pump on, it'll get pressure to these, and then I can just loosen up the, what are those nuts on the top of the fuel injectors, and then let some air out. So I'm gonna try that real quick. Let me turn the key on a couple times. That sound is the fuel pump. It's kind of clacking in a weird way. It's trying. Okay. So in theory, if I loosen it up, you know what? I'm going to leave the fuel pump on because it just keeps pushing. That way I can see when the air is done. I don't know if that fuel pump's just garbage or what, but I'm not seeing much air come out. I mean, some did come out. The angle on this thing's kind of annoying. There we go. That one has a lot more air. You can see on that one. Okay. Next one. This one's sticking out way further. I wonder why that is. That one's really weird looking compared to the other ones. It's definitely a weird fuel pump for me. Typically the fuel pumps I have, they apply pressure until they get to a certain point. After a couple seconds, then they stop. This one just keeps thumping away. I wonder if my battery is dead or something. Let me check that real quick. I'm just gonna try and start her and see what happens. I did get some air out of the first three for sure, but I really don't know why that last one didn't have like any air or no pressure, so not sure what's going on with the fuel pump. Let's see if she'll start real quick.
a little shaky. There you go. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, that leak is coming out right here. Seems pretty decent. I don't hear the turbo in any way, shape, or form, which is kind of what I expected. I don't think that thing's creating any boost, which is what he said. He said the boost wasn't reading anything. Got this boost gauge on here. It is hooked up. I checked the lines, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Let's see if I can do this. It's not budging. Unless it's not hooked up right, but I checked the hose. It goes all the way in to this fitting right here, right before it goes into the intake. Here's the fitting. So we gotta fix that V-band leak. Here's the sound from underneath. Sounds musclier than it probably should, but it's pretty cool, man. Got a little bit of a squeak. Not sure what belt that is or what it is. Alright, let's go shut her off. And a smoke back here. Woo! Also, my buzzer never stops going off. That's very annoying. Woo! That's fumey. Well, there you go. That's going to be it for the Dodge Ram 50. Well, thanks for checking out my machine I got. It is a project machine, and I'm super excited to work on it. It's going to be probably most of the content that I have in the near future. I got a lot going on at my house with my mother moving back in from out of state, and we got to build an addition for her and everything. So I'm not going to have a ton of time for videos, but this is what I'm probably going to be working on when I have a little bit of time here and there. And pretty excited. It's a pretty cool machine. Let me know what you think. Specifically, if you're a TDI guy, if you know turbo stuff, injector stuff. What other question do I have? I feel like, what gauges do I need? I think I need like an EGT boost, obviously. Okay, so the one last thing. This truck, believe it or not, doesn't even have a tack. Look at that. It's strictly just miles per gallon, a fuel gauge, and a coolant temp, which I need to check to see if that works actually, because now I'm really curious. Where's my key at? Yeah, it's not moving, but I need to figure that out, and then I need to figure out why that beeping's going on. But yeah, for you TDI guys, let me know what you think, what turbo I should put on this. I just want to be fuel efficient but have enough power to tow like 2,000 pounds. That's pretty much all I want to do. So super cool machine, and yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.